So you've mentioned several times the Nutritarian diet, and most people that watch my show and also know you, of you, know what that is. But we're going to do another episode where we'll specifically talk about that diet. But give some people that don't know an idea, what is that diet? What's different of that diet than most other diets out there, and why is it so successful against cancer?
Thank you for that question. And of course, we only have like 5 minutes left, so I'll try to, make it
Sure.
succinct. Is that number one, we're eating a lot of green vegetables. We recognize that green vegetables are not optional. They're a necessary food for normal human immune function. And our immune system, 70% of our immune system circulates around the epithelial lymphocytes and around the villi of the small intestines, which are also part of that as the cells that live in the trillions of cells that live in the digestive tract. And we have to eat sufficiently of all four types of green vegetables, raw onions and scallion, as well as cooked mushrooms and cooked beans. Though these foods have an effect to maximize the protection of the microbiome and to the immune system that builds around that digestive tract. So we're very cognizant of the enzymes in onions and the heat-sensitive enzymes in green cruciferous vegetables, the myrosinase in green vegetables and the alliinase in onions that when we chew them, we liberate the cell reaction that occurs in the mouth that floods the body with beneficial anti-cancer compounds. So inherent to the nutritarian diet is having a big salad at least once a day, where a person's putting onion on the salad and then onion with cruciferous greens with the lettuce. And lettuce is a superfood. Lettuce has, people don't recognize the sulfoquinavose and elements of lettuce that make it so protective, but the combination of lettuce with sprouts and raw cruciferous things like arugula, and baby bok choy and stuff, that when you put this stuff and you chew it, you form these beneficial compounds in your mouth in proportion to how well you chew, and then you absorb these beneficial anti-cancer compounds 20 to 50 times more efficiently if you eat some raw nuts and seeds with that meal. With a salad with just vinegar or balsamic vinegar or no fat in the meal, no nuts with it, you're going to miss absorption of many of these compounds. So it dramatically increases the absorption when you're consuming nuts, at least a half an ounce of nuts with that meal, with these large raw salads. So a nutritarian diet is a big salad at least once a day. We have certain things we're trying to consume each day, such as berries or pomegranates or passion fruit or cherry, certain these high bioflavonoid fruits. We're eating, as we said, the four types of green vegetables. We're eating beans every day. We're eating onions, both raw and cooked every day. We're eating mushrooms, predominantly cooked, many different varieties of mushrooms. We're eating berries, blackberries and wild blueberries that protect, or pomegranates or passion fruit. Or we're eating these fruits of high anti-cancer potential. And then we're eating seeds in our diet, including flax seeds and chia seeds. And we're paying careful attention to the omega-3 index, not just the omega-3 index that measures your EPA and DHA levels, but making sure your dietary omega-3 is balanced. In other words, you don't want your diet to be mostly omega-6 fats. You're eating all cashews and pecans and almonds. You want at least half of because ALA is as not even the ALA being converted to EPA and DHA, but the ALA as on itself has beneficial anti-effects on health. So we want to make sure half our nut and seed intake comes from walnuts, flax seeds, chia seeds, and hemp seeds. And then the other half includes some omega-6 nuts like pistachio nuts and pecans and almonds and cashews. But we want half our nut and seed intake. So I'll summarize this. We have at least half a cup of beans a day. We have some onions and mushrooms every day. We have big salads every day. In addition to the salads, we have cooked vegetables each day as well, cooked green vegetables every day, which increases our green vegetable exposure. And they're not overcooked, so they maintain some of the benefits of raw vegetables. And when you partially cook green vegetables, you actually absorb some of the body's ability to absorb those beneficial compounds. So it's eating the right foods and chewing them well, cooking them appropriately, and eating them with the fat you need in the diet to maximally absorb these nutrients. And we're talking here about nutritional diversity and fiber diversity. We want a diversity of different types of mushrooms. We want different types of green vegetables. We want different types of sprouts. We're going after nutritional diversity because what we've learned in the last 5 years, it's not fermented foods or probiotics that give us the best microbiome. It's the diversity of different types of fibers, flavonoids, and natural plants that we eat that gives us the healthiest, most protective microbiome.
Okay, what about like fruit? Well, I know some people say fruit is a great food, but if you have cancer, they say then you got to limit it. Do you say somebody with cancer needs to limit the fruit, or do you don't see a difference?
Well, the diet is not fruit heavy, but it still has fruit in it. The studies don't agree with that. Even the Women's Healthy and Living study showed that with cancer, people who ate more vegetables and more greens had the best survival, but those who added fruit to the greens lived longer than those who had the greens without the fruit, getting back to that factor of nutritional diversity. With too
Okay.
much fruit in the diet, you lower the protein too low because out of the five natural plant foods, fruits, vegetables, beans, nuts, and seeds, and intact grains, out of those five foods, the only one really low in protein is fruit. So when the fruit gets too high in your diet, your plant protein can get too low. So you still want to, but like I said, these lower sugar fruits that are so highly, there's studies on just giving people berry extracts that their cancers go reverse themselves. If you're removing, these are powerful anti-cancer substances we're talking about here. Passion fruit and pomegranate and wild blueberries and blackberries and these natural fruits are powerfully protective against cancer. To throw them out of the diet, thinking you're afraid of the sugar, is not supported by the science that we have today, available today. It shows that the addition of those things add more cancer protective effects to the diet. And I'm saying the variety of these compounds across the plant kingdom gives us this unprecedented opportunity in human history to design these super healthy diets that are protective against cancer and effective for people who have cancer. And we're also saying, before I close, that the diet that protects against developing cancer the most is also most effective for people who have cancer. There's not one diet to prevent cancer and then a new diet if you have cancer. That's just not the way the body works.